drink the nerves away. She says she's nervous. I don't. People get nervous coming on here, but it's just the two of us, really.
It's still very nerve-wracking.
No, there's lots of people online, but you speak to more people in the day that
Yeah, but
and you have to go and accept stuff for Cheshire all the time.
Public speaking is not my thing. Hey? It's not my thing. I still get butterflies, and I'm not very good at it.
But I mean, public speaking.
Rather that's for my singing. Apparently my singing is not very good.
Oh, okay. We'll keep you away from the singing. That's fine. But we got you a gin and tonic. It's fine. We loosen the tongue.
There you go.
Diedre, obviously you're synonymous with Cheshire Homes, and it's the Summer Strand.
Yes, that's right.
The version chapter, or whatever you call it.
Summer
Strand branch of Cheshire. Is Cheshire Homes like a very huge thing? Is it all every country,
There are about 54 countries. There's 200 organisations.
Obviously started in Cheshire.
It started with Cheshire. Actually, the first proper home, the official home, was opened in India. And then Leonard Cheshire's actually been into our home before he passed away. But and there are 16 in South Africa.
So it's his surname.
Leonard Cheshire.
Leonard Cheshire.
Leonard Cheshire.
Jeffrey Leonard Cheshire, because I didn't know that.
There you go.
So and so all over the world.
All over the world, yeah. Wow. I've actually been to the Isle of Wight, I think it was. We got lost and we ended up at the door of a Cheshire Homes up there. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was fabulous. And Mauritius, we went to the one in Mauritius. So, yeah, it was fabulous.
Okay, so you've been and you've been to a couple of them.
Yeah.
And so so obviously a very large organisation, and are they all linked? Obviously, you still keep they keep contact. Are they your bosses? Are they the guys?
Well, the Constitution is the sort of boss. So we all conform to the same Constitution, but we're autonomous. So we have our own boards, we have our own way of doing things, and so that helps.
I suppose with every country, it's got to have this like a cultural difference. There's all sorts of changes that got to be made. So you have your autonomy.
That's it.
And it's that initial. Do they start these branches? Are they still opening branches?
Well, not in South Africa. We haven't opened one for many years, but there is a Leonard Cheshire South Africa organisation, and we all sort of report into Leonard Cheshire South Africa.
There's some accountability.
There is accountability. Yeah. But then we've got the Eastern Province branch, which looks after the 4 homes in the Eastern Cape as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and just for people that don't know, I mean, just a basic explanation of what Cheshire Homes is about.
So our organisation, Summer Strand organisation, is for physically disabled adults. Okay. So we have physically disabled adults that live at Cheshire. So we look after all their needs. So from accommodation to care, nutrition to transport to spiritual needs to activities, all of that. And then we've also got a little outreach called Kaya Cheshire. Okay. So Kaya Cheshire is in Woomera Township at the moment, but we are looking to bring Kaya Cheshire back to Summer Strand.
As well.
And Kaya Cheshire is our little outreach centre, and it is for 23 disabled children from Woomera Township. Oh, okay. So we just look after them during the day, basic education, and just a bit of nutrition and care as well. And then we. Yeah. I mean, that's a big
ask though. Hey, I mean, 23 kids and all physically disabled. That require. I mean, what kind of staff are you running there?
So Kaya Cheshire is lucky. We can run on about 3 staff. We've got a driver and a cook and a teacher from the UK, and they do a wonderful job. They look after the 3. Sometimes there's 18 children, sometimes there's 23, but we can take up to 23. And then we've got about 27 to 28 staff at Cheshire at Summer Strand. Because we've got 56 residents there. So it's a big home, but they're family.
Yeah, and obviously the staff have got to be a special kind of person.
Oh yes, yeah.
Do you interview yourself?
Yeah, but I've made some pretty good decisions in the last couple of years, so I'm very proud of myself.
You got a good radar.
Strong staff, I've got a radar.
Got a good radar.
But I've got a very good staff, and I'm very happy. So they're very supportive, and they run their departments extremely well. So and it's so nice to work with them. They're a lot of fun as well. You've got to have fun.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
I had a 3-month just rest period.
Oh,
and that was fabulous.
Just
rest. I did nothing. And I started running then. I started running then. So that became my hobby,
Now running. I know you like your running. You went to 32 GIs, is that right?
That's it.
32 GIs. It's a club here in town, and it seems very popular. Tell me about 32, because I've seen it. I've seen the things and where
blue and yellow. So we run from Victoria Park Drive
Okay.
Every Thursday night is our town trial. And we're
From the club, from Eddie Max.
Opposite.
Yeah,
from our club president and his wife. They've offered up a little space at their house, and so we do the socializing there as well. Sometimes we say that we're a drinking club with a running problem,
Yes.
but we're such a close club, and we have a lot of fun together. It's all like-minded people that get together, and we support each other. We pull each other through marathons. I never thought I'd ever see myself do a 2 oceans, but hell yeah, I've got one behind the belt.
Oh wow!
And I will
2
still
oceans.
doing, yes, I will still doing the comrades at some stage in my life. Yeah.
She was. I can't.
Now, come on, Gino.
No,
Now, come on, you can take care of the stain on easily.
No,
Okay.
I've met her. She's such a lovely lady. Yeah. She did the spa.
Fantastic.
She was part of the runs that they were doing, for their Grand Prix and stuff.
Oh yes.
I did. Gary puts on questions every now and again here, so
Yes.
you spot them. She says Diedre enjoys hip hop. Did you have a hip hop?
I did.
Did you really?
8 weeks ago.
8 weeks.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to make me faster, but we'll see. Yeah.
Maybe get some PBs.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, so that was it was about 2 years coming, and I think it might have been a fall off a bicycle that triggered it. But anyway, so I've had my hip, and I'm now a bionic woman, so I'm hoping that I will be able to do some running before the end of the year. Lovey actually bought me a pair of running shoes, and he said to me, that's my incentive for good behavior.
Oh.
So I'm only allowed to wear them if I behave and do what the doctor told me to do.
Good thinking, Lovey.
Yes, I'll be able to start running again. So yeah.
Any of the residents at Cheshire want to say hello to
all
as
of
well?
them. They all. I've sent them the link tonight. I don't know if any of them got into the link tonight, but I'm so proud of every single one of you. You are just absolutely so amazing, so inspirational, and you just make life absolutely worth it. I just love you.
No, there's always so many things in the way. There's so many obstacles, but they go.
Exactly. And sometimes people say, "Oh, they're my inmates," and I think during lockdown they were like inmates, and I felt so sorry for them during lockdown. So we did so many activities every day. We did almost every. I mean, it was wonderful because I didn't do admin for like 2 years, but and it was so nice. It was just being able to spend time with them and get to know them on such a different level.
Locked in that spot.
It was hard.
Who are your favorites? And who's the guys who's got the sense of humor?
Who's got the sense of humor? Well, I love Pierre with his sense of humor. And then you've got Yanni, our ambassador, that always sits at Spa selling tickets. And old Danny and Jeff, they work in the shops, and Sandy that works in the shops, Arlene, and they all add and they all contribute to everything of the home. They all have such talent. And I think everyone is so quick to focus on the disability, the fact that they haven't got use of their arm or their leg or whatever the story is, but they've all got such abilities. Yeah. They play golf, they do arts and crafts, they do art, they do mouth painting, they do they work in the shops, they work with money, they sell tickets, they sew, they bake, there's so much that the residents can do. They bribe. Benny makes the most amazing bries.
I know Ed Gucci comes around there and has his bribe, and I think Ed. Somebody tag Ed because Ed's got to. I know he loves Cheshire.
He does. He's such a good supporter. But you know what? There are so many organisations and companies in PE that just need a huge shout out from me from today. Really, you guys have been amazing. You really are amazing. Yeah. When times were tough during lockdown and we didn't get our subsidy, the bikers, they would pitch up and they had donations for us and so on. And people just out of the blue, Lord Domini and my sorority sister friends, they pitched up with food, and it was just amazing just to see how the community pulled together during lockdown. So thank you. If I haven't said thank you to you, I'm saying thank you to everybody now for everything that you've done.
It certainly did that whole lockdown thing certainly did push the community together. Like you realize that we locked down now, and we are and because of the lockdown, it gives you that whole feeling of like, okay, we're all together here in this little small space.
Exactly.
And we've got to do this, So the companies, the local companies, you want to support those local guys as opposed to the big internationals. Who cares about the internationals?
Exactly.
The money just goes out of town,
Exactly.
We've got to support our local guys, our local people.
And even my Rotary Club, I must mention my Rotary Club.
Oh, yes. Which one? Is it
Rotary Club?
Because you've got to be which one it is, the Rotary.
Yeah, my Rotary Club. But anyway, they were absolutely phenomenal during lockdown as well. I mean, they just made things happen. Yeah. So I think, just a shout out to everybody that just helped us through that lockdown period. These times that you got to be and you think, where is it going to come from? And it just happens, Good. So it was, listen, we had such fun, and we started something called the Olympics. during lockdown. So
Okay, yeah.
it's kind of like almost our fourth year, I think, or third, so just before lockdown. Yeah. And every year we do this Olympics, and we have these different stations, and each station there's some different activity, but there's something that everybody can do.
Yes.
You know, so whether it's how many Smarties you can get from one bowl to the other, to pin the tail on the donkey, or musical statues, like musical chairs, whatever. And we have so much fun. And we did it the other day, and we had people from all over that just pitched and said, we're here to do Mandela Day, 67 minutes, and what can we do? Edge, obviously, always. Edge, you guys are awesome. Yes. And they just pitched and played. And so that's becoming such a nice, like an annual event. Yeah. And it's not a money spinner, but it's for the residents. Yeah, you know, sometimes you just...
Good fun.
It's about the residents.
You know? It's good. It is. Exactly. I love that. And I know, and also love a shout out to Ed, because I know he's always involved. And he just gives himself. He's a bloody nut. But he gives himself so much.
Sure. I hope they enjoyed the cake. We dropped off a cake for them the other day.
And what is the biggest risk that you've ever taken, like in your life?
Probably saving my daughter from a spider. There was a spider. She was brand new. I think she was like 2 months old, and I had her on the compactum. And the next thing, the spider crawled out from behind, massive poodle. And so I ran out the room, and I suddenly realized, well, I've got a newborn. I've got a baby.
So you got to go back in.
The bravest thing I've ever had to do was to go in and fetch my child. Sorry, Megan.
What is it about spiders? Was it that when you were small, you were attacked by 1,000 spiders?
But they used to jump at you. In Natal, we had these spiders. They used to actually jump at you if you sprayed doom at them.
Oh.
So, no, I'm terrified. Well, and I think it's those eyes. They watch you from all over.
You're spraying them with doom. Like, hey.
Sorry for all the animal lovers out there.
Help, save me.
They're poodles. Like, they're nice. Imagine these like big hairy poodles.
Are they bigger spiders in Durban? This is tropical tarantula news. Oh dear. Okay. Something that people will be surprised to know about you.
I'm actually very shy.
Is it?
Yes.
Really? You don't see. Well, I know you coming on the show was quite a big thing for you. We had to drag her on, let me tell you. It was quite a thing to get you on.
Yeah, no, I actually really think I'm an introvert. I actually think I'm very shy.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying an introvert.
But I'm very
nervous. You're very much a people person.
Yeah, but inside, I have butterflies every time I've got to go into a function, to a room or a wall I die inside.
Bit of anxiety.
Very much, yeah. That's why I had like 2 nails missing when I
was also, my wife tells me that I'm, what's the word? I'm anxious about, socially anxious.
Socially anxious, yes, definitely.
So I don't like to say no to anybody.
Yes.
I don't always say yes.
Well, my best friend Chanel always says to me that I don't know how to say no. So she's trying to teach me how to say no, and it's very difficult.
Chanel.
Chanel.
Is Chanel online?
Chanel, you better be watching.
Yeah, Chanel's online. You would put in the comments a funny story that you can remind her about to tell us. Okay, Chanel. And your mom and dad too. You can phone Megan and ask her to put it online too.
Oh, my goodness.
The hardest you've ever worked?
The hardest I've ever worked. I think it's for Cheshire, because when you're teaching, the children still go home to a family, and there's still someone else that takes responsibility from there. The lotto, the winners go home and blow it. Yes. ShopRite people buy their products, and that's fine. But I think Cheshire, because those people are so dependent on you. So I think that's probably the hardest I've ever had to do. Is Cheshire.
Also, I think it's closer to your heart.
It's worth it. Yeah, definitely.
You feel like home. Yeah. The most bogus rumor that you've ever heard about yourself?
That I'm leaving Cheshire.
Oh, is it? So they would come around once.
Yeah.
Like, I heard you leaving Cheshire.
Yes, what? Apparently you're immigrating. No.
Immigrating.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying
put. No immigration for you.
No immigration for me.
Good.
I'm staying put.
Well, we need people. We need lots of people like you. All right. Biggest learning experience that you've ever had?
You know what? I think it's about, sure. There's been so many, and I'm grateful to my parents, because they're so grounded, and I think they taught me a lot about life. And I think one of the biggest things was just also learning to accept people in wheelchairs. Very often you get the kids and they're like, stay, And my parents introduced me to Cheshire, and I've never stayed or wondered or anything like that. It's just been their learning is everything that they've taught me has just been amazing.
What line should someone never cross with you?
Don't cheat on me. Don't cheat and lie. Okay. Be honest with me. If you've got something to say it. Okay. If you've got something that you have done, come and tell me about it, and we'll work on the solution.
Okay.
But don't cheat and don't lie.
Yeah. Just your integrity.
Integrity.
Is that for you too?
That is crucial.
That's all you got in the end.
Exactly. That defines, I think it defines you as well. I think if you're going to cheat and lie, then that doesn't work for me. Sorry.
All right.
We have tools for things like that.
That's almost the last question. The one I always like to ask is when like you do a lot of functions and things as well, and when something's gone completely wrong, when something's like really messed up.
Goodness, Glenda, how did we deal with that at one stage? I remember that one time.
Yeah, that one time at band camp.
I remember that one time at band camp. And we had some fun camps when we were teaching as well, but I can't go into that. But you know what? It's a matter of just sitting down, taking a breath, and finding a way around it.
Are you under pressure?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. There's always deadlines, and there's always something that you've got to get in. And then, working at Cheshire is not easy because there's interruptions at your door 24/7. So now we've put a sign up now that says no interruptions between 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 is admin time. But you know what? You don't chase anyone away.
No,
if they pitch up and this one's needs a hair and a French plait on that one needs something, and you know what?
So it's like always stuff going.
There's always interruptions. Yeah.
But like if there's been a function that's gone on, often it's stuff that you have no control over. Normally,
no. You know what? No one knows about it. You know what I mean? We know about it, but they don't know about it. Yeah. So we just make it work. We wing it. Okay. We just wing things.
And your proudest moment?
My proudest moment at Cheshire.
Not birth of your children. That's.
No. My proudest moment at Cheshire has probably just been getting through COVID. I think that was a big challenge. Oh. Putting up solar panels in a borehole before. Yes. Electricity became a problem and before water became a problem. So, it was kind of like a bit of foresight there, which was great. But I think everything that you do that is a success. Any bit of funds that you get in for a project or whatever like that is a success. So, yes, it's like,
nailed it.
Victory dance.
You do victory dances.
We do victory dances.
I love it.
So there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. My proudest moment was running as well. Like I've had a lot of runs that have been fantastic. So that's been like, being able to run.
PBs.
No, I don't worry about PBs anymore. I'm too old for that.
I've got to pitch fast. Fast.
No, I've got to finish. I'm like one of those. As long as I can finish. I'm happy.
Running, cycling as well.
Running and cycling. And I've done a couple of, I think about 5 corporates. Because it's short distances. And now, I think my one of my personal things was being able to swim 2 kilometers in the sea.
Oh, so you're going next to Ironman next?
No.
Well, you're swimming and you're riding and you...
No. But the last time I did 2Ks in the sea, the very next day in the paper, they pulled out a raggy that was about 5 meters long.
Yeah, but the raggies won't eat you.
Yeah, but it's daunting. Have you seen the size of those?
Okay, I don't really know if they won't eat you, but I think the raggies are very docile.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to... I don't know, it's just an urban legend. There you go. Hairspray works for spiders. Oh no, they stick there, and then you can do them. Oh no, don't even put that online.
Thanks, Camilla.
You've got to catch them in the thing and then put them outside, Camilla.
I love that. No, you know what? One of the nice successes was when the Springboks played rugby here not so long ago.
Yes.
I can't remember who they played. Was it Argentina that they played?
Yes.
And they also told me, you'll never get them to Cheshire. And I said, I will get them to Cheshire. Watch me. Yeah. And I went out of my way, and I eventually got hold of the security manager. And I said to him, you've got to help me. And he said, listen, we've got such a tight schedule, but I tell you what, we'll bring them to Cheshire. And the only thing that we could organize...
The rugby team?
The rugby team.
Oh, no way.
The only thing that we could do was get them to drive past with their whole convoy of police and, the whole toot. But we lined that whole Gomery Avenue with Springboks and Vuvuzelas and jerseys and Bokke.
Best.
And they drove past very, very slowly. And they hooted, and it was a big hoo-ha and a big noise. The residents were they were so excited. And the guy phoned me, his name was Johan, and he got to the airport and he phoned me and he was in tears and he said to me, you know what, you might not have seen us and you might not remember us. He said, but you had not a dry eye on that bus. It was fantastic. He said, we will remember Cheshire. So that was so cool.
We're going to get them the next time then for sure.
Well, we had Kane and Moody, and I mean, Kane and Moody is making a name for himself. So we're very chuffed. We had Kane and Moody in the house the other day.
Awesome. I love it. Diedre, fantastic chat. Thank you so much for coming on. And you survived very well. And it was a great chat.
My name is Sophie.